It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. And my wonderful guest today is someone that you are very familiar with and that everyone likes to hear from. And today we're going to talk about our 5D and our future money system. So I'm sure you'll find this very interesting to hear what Jenny Lee has heard from Spirit. So let me bring her on. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. I think we're doing good. I think I'm ready for spring. I'm tired of the weather. I'm ready for the spring to come. Because in the winter, you just kind of stay in your own house and everything. And I'm ready to do a lot of activity this spring versus other years.
To get cabin fever.
Yeah, concerts, and I think I want to do a bunch of stuff this year, so it's good. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, we have lots to talk about that I know people are extremely interested in, and I don't know if you've gotten specific information from Spirit about this or what, but let me know where.
Yeah, just go ahead and start with the first thing you want to dive into on this. What subject are we going?
Or what are you talking about?
Let's talk about that stuff that you were talking about that you have across, because I was interested.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. This is a major breakthrough. I did a show with Dr. Robert O. Young about this already. And I really, if you haven't seen it, I would really encourage you to go see it or to see it, because this product called Masterpiece, and there is a link in the description and it is on the screen right now. People, are doing studies with it, and in a month's time, people's levels of heavy metals and plastics have dropped significantly. It was bringing tears to the eyes of Dr. Matchy. If you remember her, she's the one that saw the parasite looking up off the cell, off the slide when she was looking under the microscope. Too bizarre I mean, that was wild. And anyway, so this product is actually removing these things from people. And I've never seen anything like it with anything else. So
is it killing it, or what? Is it just draining the system, or what's it doing?
What it is it's a negatively charged substance that is nano-sized.
Oh, wow.
And when it's nano-sized like that, it's able to get right into the cell. And it's a very specially prepared zeolite that is purified, because there's a lot of zeolite out there that is contaminated with heavy metals. This is not. It's specifically treated in certain ways. And it's nano size, so it's small enough to get inside of your cell. It's like a magnet. If there's aluminum there, if there's graphene there, and that's the biggie right there, it snags it, and you will eliminate it through your urine. So of course, it's always important to drink plenty of water, purified water, when you do any kind of detox. But this was done with as little as 5 drops twice a day.
Right.
And remarkable results are happening. And I usually don't like to, do the product thing, but this one, I think everybody needs it. Graphene is in all of us. Heavy metals are in all of us. And this is the first really good way to get it out. certain clays will work too, but this is very easy. And
I
so
bet
I'd
it is.
encourage you to look into it.
That's why I like detoxes and stuff, because you don't, you never know what you got. That's the problem, what you're getting now.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you go get some kind of blood test, you don't know exactly. I mean, you have to list what you want tested for. They don't just automatically test for everything.
Exactly.
And, so anyway, be sure to look at that.
The last 2 weeks, I just finally exited sugar. I'm like, I'm not doing sugar anymore at all. Like 0. Like I'm replacing with honey, and that's it. I'm just like done. I just, it's going to go out the door anyway, so you might as well get used to not having it. So
yeah, it was really bad. What happened with something happened in nutrition with sugar. The sugar industry fought against stevia even ever coming on the market, and also hid behind the fact that they were lobbying to. They wanted everybody to think that it was fat and not sugar that contributed to your unhealthy blood fat levels and so on and so forth. Everything they've told us, lies. They're everywhere. They're in every field. It's just really.
That's why we got to relearn everything, and that's the problem.
But that's a lot. Everything, we're relearning everything, and it happens. It's in every single field.
Yeah. And that's why I was just like, I don't know, you get to a point you're just fed up, and you're just like, you don't know what you're consuming that is real and what is not anymore. And so it's just, it gets frustrating with this whole situation. So that's why I think gardening is going to be just a completely different thing this spring, because everybody's tired of being bought products that we don't even know what they are anymore. And so they're finally at a point, they're like, we're going to have to go back to the small communities and take care of local gardens and stuff like that. There's just no way.
Somebody is asking me what the name of the zeolite is. And if you look up on the link and go on the website, you'll find it's crystal. I can't pronounce it. And I'm trying to remember exactly how it's spelled even. But you will see it on the website. So if you just go there, you can look it up and get that question answered. I should know it off the top of my head, but I don't right now.
Right.
I know it's Seer.
So yeah, I mean, I just think, I mean, it's gonna be weird when you have these sugar factories going completely down. And I live in an area that's all they're supported by, just the local stuff. And I mean, they're everywhere, sugar beets and all that stuff. And when that stuff goes down,
and they're GMO.
That's
what's bad. Yeah. Just like the corn that are many of the animals that we raise, that we eat, are fed GMO food, which gets into the market as well. And now they're trying to add all kinds of other, the thing that they did this with, they're trying to put it in all of our food, or they are putting it in a lot of our food. I found out that Cheerios and oatmeal are particularly bad. And I have to, and I can attest to that, because, and I usually don't do this. I gave up cereal many years ago, but I was given a box of Honey Nut Cheerios. I ate it and I got sick. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I felt awful, and it was like, oh my God, what's wrong with this? And then I've noticed some other foods. I don't know, maybe my tastes are changing, but some stuff just doesn't taste right.
There's no taste to it.
There's
no taste to it. I mean, I've been because where I stay and I work in the same place, and then when you buy everything and you make everything, and I went to go to a restaurant the other day, and I was just like, I took 2 bites, and like, no, I can't do it now. And like, no. So you just get to a point you don't desire it anymore. And so fruit, yeah, but I think it's going to be different. I mean, was it our parents? You saw how good in shape they were. They were in better shape. They more quality food than we ever did.
Yeah.
And
matters what you eat. I'm going to put a video up in the chat. If you have a chance to see that, you will like it. Dr. Maggie, I believe is how you pronounce her name, is on there. And less deplorables, it says that her reception is better on YouTube than on Rumble. That's interesting. Yeah, I might. Oats and grains are saturated. Yeah, they are. And that's glyphosate. And that's how people got leaky gut, gluten problems. It's all from the chemicals they've been putting on the food, the glyphosate, the spraying of the Roundup. People still use it. I remember I was doing a presentation one time about that, and somebody argued, I've been using Roundup for a long time. Okay.
Oh my God, yeah. Like it's normal to be around.
Like with that, you may be okay now. You don't know what's brewing in your body, though.
Yeah. Oh, no. Touching anything like that now is just too scary.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. See what Wide Awakes just said? She says oats and grains are saturated with Roundup during growing. Yeah, plus they desiccate the wheat with it as well. Once you use the organic, you can taste the chemicals, etc. And the other, I think you're right about that. That's
well, only that too. I mean, people need to get off soda. I mean,
they're putting graphene in soda too.
I know, and I haven't touched that in 2 weeks either. I'm like,
yeah, I gave up soda years ago too. I have. Wish water. I could convince family members of that.
Yeah, water is, the only thing, and coffee, but not very strong. But those are the two things. Water and coffee.
Absolutely critical. Yeah. And the purer your water, the better. So I don't know what they're going to come up with for filtering to make sure they can give up. I mean, they can take out everything right out of the water.
What I was seeing too, and I ordered one of those copper containers, the metal ones.
Oh yeah, I saw them. I was thinking about getting one too.
I'm gonna go back to, and then like you often wonder why everything's plastic, and now I'm like analyzing that all the way. Now I'm like, nope, no plastic. Just drink and eat out of everything that's a solid metal now, instead of having some plastic container. I mean, your bottom of your shoes, they don't want you to be grounded, your tennis shoes and stuff like that. So we got to change a lot of things, how we look at things.
That is so true, because grounding is so important, and we don't get enough people don't get out into nature as often as they really should.
No, they don't.
Be able to ground and so on and so forth. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I've just been doing like completely everything for the last 2 weeks, and I just notice it's just completely different. Sleep and not only that, you're just not hungry the same way anymore either, because your body goes
That's
through
true.
Doesn't want the sugar, and then you just don't care. So it's great.
True. Yeah, I've always had a sweet tooth. That's been a downfall of mine. But I pretty much gave it up. I mean, you can find it in some foods. You can't get away from it, and I don't worry about it if it's in fruit, like some people say. But well,
I just took the 2 pound of sugar and threw it out. The big thing. I just threw the whole thing out. I was like,
if you look under a microscope, a strong microscope, about the crystals, sugar crystals, they look like stabbing needles. I mean, it doesn't look right either, and there's a lot to it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh wow. Okay. This is interesting. Look at what someone said here. The combination of citric acid and chemicals in diet Sprite caused blood cancer in my sister years ago. She survived. Oh, any of the artificial sweeteners.
Yeah.
Aspartame, horrible. Sucralose, horrible. If you were a chemist, you would classify it as rat poison. It's poison. So, but now stevia is natural, but there are a bunch of different varieties, and
I have that too.
I use the now liquid version, and I'm perfectly happy with it.
You just got to get used to the taste of it.
Pardon?
Stevia. You have to get used to the taste.
Yeah, you do. And I tell you, the one that I found the best that I could tolerate the taste with was from the Now Corporation or business or what have you. They've been around for a long time. They usually have a pretty good quality control on their products. But that's another whole issue. Anyway, I guess we can move on to other things.
Right. So why don't we talk about the thing that I noticed in the past 2 days is the Schumann resonance and then the energy. So Spirit was telling me you're going to get to a point where you're not going to feel like getting out of bed. It feels like it. I mean, the last 2 days, it's just felt like I've never been this tired, feeling like you're impacted by something. But I'm not saying negative. It feels like something's going in and your body's trying to contain it. But I mean in a way of it's energy. It's new energy. It's coming at us. And they just said, you're better off hiding under your blanket and just because your body's going to have to take that download in. And how your body's going to take that download in, some of us aren't good. And that's the thing about psychics and healers. Everybody has gone through a process where you're dead on the floor and you're like, I'm not getting up. I'm not doing nothing. And so it's strong.
It's taking a lot of extra motivation to do things. To even keep going with my shows and stuff. It's like, I don't want to do anything. Yeah.
This is beyond that. It is like a weight, So, and it's just a new, I call it new, and what I call it with Humble Healing 3, which would be new particles coming into your spiritual crystalline body, because we're going to upgrade. We're not going to stay at the same type of body that none of us want to stay in this vessel. So I think, like you said, when you see aliens and how everything's very cut and precise, and it's going to be nice to have that instead of having this flesh and bone process. Let me turn my heat off.
Yes, Masterpiece is amazing, and people are getting amazing results with it. And be sure and watch the video. Look in the chat for the video I put in there. If you get the chance, watch that. There's another good one out by Mickey Clan, who put Maricopa County supervisors on notice that they had like 3 days to quit. They're fired. They didn't have oaths of office. They didn't have bonds in something that relates to the republic, not the corporation, which has been deconstructed. Anyway, that's a whole nother issue. So, did you want to talk about 5D or?
Yeah. Let me go into dreams, because dreams are changing too. And
okay.
Okay. So what I've been getting is major like 5D details in dreams. The colors are just infused, brighter colors. It's not this dull 3D stuff. And I mean, it almost looks like patterns of colors, and they're coming in with the patterns and stuff too. And so, and then last night, I was getting a dream, and they're just giving me information. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Just pick something else to go talk about, So then these enriched patterns of colors came in, and now we're talking in rich, that I haven't seen dreams like this where they have these basic colors. These are very enriched colors that are coming in that people need to pay attention to their dreams. They need to pay attention to their body. It's getting more of these energies coming in, and then your physical vessel and your spirit has to take it in. And it's not easy sometimes. It feels like you're kind of coming out of a coma sometimes, and you're just like, whoa, this is locked. So you need to be paying attention to that.
I've had for a large portion of my adult life an inability, a seemingly inability to be able to recall dreams, because I know we all dream,
right?
But I had trouble recalling them. And I've done the having your pen and pencil next to your bed and all that kind of stuff that they tell you to try to, like write it down right away so you don't forget
right.
it, kind of thing. It goes beyond that, but I've also, back to this product again, I was told that, and I'll be having an interview on Tuesday with someone from the company who designed the product, that your dreams will change with this product too. Like people are having more lucid dreams and more just more dreams in general. And so
right, and that's the thing. Like, it was funny last night because I was telling Jeep this. I was like, they're sitting there giving me details about my ex, and I'm just like, I don't care. I don't want this one. Pick a different one with, a totally different dream. I don't need to know this. So it's just like switch the page, turn the page. I don't care. So it's just a lot of information's coming out, and even though you don't want some of the information. And that's, like I said, when you're in the dream, so you have a control of allowing yourself to know you're in the dream and letting it go and saying, no, I'm not going to learn anything from this. Let's move on. So, just getting different stuff coming in, you can feel it. So I had a person around me today, and I was like, I know it's the energy, because it was like off balance for her, because she's a normie, like a complete normal person that doesn't do any energy work or anything. And every time I get a massage, I have seen people, they've either gotten shocked or they get nauseated, and it's just too much energy sometimes comes from my body. And it was just, I was just like, she's like, why am I getting sick? And I go, it's just been around too much energy. And if you can't, you're not used to it. It's not a massage therapist that knows about energy. And when you're in massage therapy and you don't know how to take that in, it can hit you pretty hard. So you can tell the difference between the 3D people and these people that are being affected in a different way. Okay.
Oh, somebody's asking you if Jenny, why does one not see the faces of those in our dreams? You're next to or looking at someone, but their faces aren't visible.
I think that has to do with your perception, if you trust it or not. And sometimes they show you a side view, and sometimes they show you an outline view, because when we're dreaming, and some of that is a elusive state, and sometimes they want us to get it. But and it depends on your attention span, how long they think you'll sustain the information. And then some people get it right away, and some of us get it and don't want it. Like, no, I don't want that. So it's pretty interesting so it really depends on how the angle is when you're trying to dream. If you're trying to sit there and tell yourself, I got to look at this at your conscience saying, I need to look at this at a different angle in my dreams, and you're aware of that, your perception can change in your dreams. But people don't realize you have control over that. That's like going through a dream and going through a dimension. Most dreams are not attached to one thing. You can walk through and get a different perception, and then you go into another perception, and people always try to put it together. Sometimes we're going through a dimension of information in our dreams.
Wow. That's interesting. Okay, what about, let me see if anything else. For some reason, we're having trouble on Rumble, which is unusual, but I think they're hitting Rumble with frequency because they're an uncensored channel. And sometimes they just, I don't know why Rumble would be having a hard time for any other reason, but I think that's very, yeah, okay. Pauline says a couple of people have said now that they're on YouTube and it's fine. So you might want to go to YouTube to watch this particular
series
video, and we are we're on there, so we have to be a little bit careful what we talk about, but I think we're fine at this point.
Yeah. So so we were talking about like I said, the dreams, and that's going to affect the way you're eating. And I was it yesterday. I felt like my whole bottom half and down to my feet were like so like on like a live wire, and just like overly sensitive. I'm telling you, yesterday started something going on because just the energy was coming at you and you're overly sensitive. I was overly sensitive yesterday on everything. I could just feel everything coming in any like waves of energy. You can feel it. So it was just like it was affecting the body in a different way. So, and that's why when people, it's not that they're irritable or anything like that. They're just dealing with new energy that's hitting us, and people don't know how to handle.
Experiencing a lot of anxiety from the energies coming in, it seems.
Yeah, a lot of people are feeling that. And then it's hard to be around a lot of people when you're in a situation like that. Publicly would be hard right now because you have mixed energy. And that's where you're seeing that divide's coming between the 3D and 5D people, of their view of what they see, what they can visualize. And then you got the 3D people are dormant to everything. It's like a dead weight to everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because Brooks Agnew was talking, Dr. Brooks Agnew was talking about the splitting of Earth, the spiritual and corporal. It's happening.
Right.
And it's something.
And we're all like, hurry up.
Yeah, really. Let's get the show on the road, the real show, okay? Not this fake movie that we've been watching
in the last 2 weeks. It's been feeling like a chalkboard. We're like, oh, hurry up. So yeah, I mean, it's feeling uncomfortable, and then, like I said, you're dealing with different reactions each day. So
yeah, and sometimes I don't know what day it is from one day to the next, and it's going. Wait a minute, what day is it today? Where are we at? Right. And I don't think I'm alone. Other people have been saying the same thing.
But there's energy above us too that's affecting us too, and the weather's changing, and the weather's bipolar as heck. Going up and down. One day it's hot, one day it's cold, one day it's snowing, one day it's ice. I mean, everybody is expecting a certain weather. Look in California. They are known for sunshine. They're getting winters and everything, so it's changing.
Is it still raining in California? I wonder. I haven't checked.
Some snow, and I don't know what part that was, but I'm sure there's some people in the group there. I haven't looked today, but I think there is.
Yeah. If anybody has heard, anybody out there heard about what's going on in California anymore? Is it still raining there? Does anybody know? You can just put it in the chat. If you're on YouTube, we can see it. Otherwise, you have to be on Twitch or DLive in order for us to see your comments. So, but anyway, now you mentioned the Schumann resonance. Was it high? Is that what's going on?
Well, I can look at it. It was I have to go in here. Hold on a second. Friday it was changing a lot. And that's where I was like, what is, and that's when things like this happen. Then I look at it and go, oh Lord. And so, it was a big weekend of the biggest energies, bringing in changes for all timelines. That's why we're dealing with that. And that was
Changes for all timelines.
Welcome to Friday, amazing one. This is the biggest weekend of the biggest energy. So, bringing the change for all timelines. So that's what I'm saying. Yesterday, it was like you were sitting on a live wire or a ley line. That's what I felt like. It was hard.
Wow. And I guess it is still raining or snowing in California from the oh my God, a foot of snow or more in parts of California. Wow.
Yeah, I saw snow. I was like snow, and they were stuck on a highway.
Wow. Well, it's kind of wild what's going on there. The more rain they get, the more problems they could have.
Yeah, I was thinking I should have bought one of those weighted blankets. Maybe that would have done me better.
Yeah.
One of those weighted down blankets to keep you steady. But yeah, it's getting nuts. So, so I had a friend send me stuff out today, and they're seeing a divide of the banks where you have, like I said, the guidelines are going to come, and then pushing the bank system, like you stay at that distance. You're not getting into all the information. You are just going to be basically a shell of a bank, and we're going to be doing the work. So they're not allowing them to know everything. They're just there to be of actual service and not controlling things. So when that takes effect, that's where you're going to see that divide. The banks are just going to disappear, and we're going to have the quantum system and the distributing centers on our own. And I think they're going to make those more mobile on everything. So I don't think it's going to be, I believe the size of these banks are going to dismantle in a smaller, convenient way. You might have some distributing centers that are bigger, but I don't feel the teller process is going to be there at all. I think that's going to completely dismantle, because it's hard, because our relationship with the banks has been completely a hate situation. It's never been a love. And now we don't trust them. So to have a lot of money in these systems and think all 90% across the world is like, how are you going to screw me out of my money? Because that's how everybody sees it. You know, what are they going to charge? What are they going to try to do to, you know, I'm telling you, people are going to be paranoid with their money now. You know, and don't be surprised if you got those people that they're like, no, I want all the money and I want to put it in buckets. And it's like, you can't do that. That's going to be, you know, they want to take their money out of the bank. It's not going to work that way, in the way that they think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
I just mentioned
Oops,
sorry. I was just going to mention this real quick and then take it down. She said Wide Awake said that she heard up to 12 foot of snow. Saw the live video, not good at all. Power outages, no one can get food. And when that all melts, that's going to be flooding
again. Like I said, California, it's just going to keep coming at you. It's going to stay consistent. The deterioration is going to keep coming. It's not going to stop. It's deterioration. So it's not one storm and then it's over. It's going to stay this way, and it's going to keep doing this for a long time. That's the thing.
What had Spirit told you about the quantum financial system? Should people be joining that, or should they be waiting? And then here somebody's asking if they should take the money out of the bank.
No, I don't have a problem keep your money in the federal banks, you know, the small federal credit unions, okay? Because you pull all your money out when the exchange goes through, it's going to be a bitch to get back into the bank, get that all exchanged out again. Do you understand? Because I think they're going to give people like this is spiritually again, 3 months to get all your old money exchanged into the new money. So if you take everything out of the bank, and I want you to think about all your people that you live around and how they're going to react. It's going to be hell. There's going to be lines everywhere. So you only take out what you need to actually survive, because if you take it all out, you're going to have a problem. So I'm putting it in several banks that are credit unions are fine, but I just think there has to be an exchange point, and the banks are going to have to exchange that out. What I'd be looking for right soon, keeping an eye out for that new rainbow money to show up. The actual physical stuff that you can hold. And the thing is too, you're going to have people that are going to see that and go, this isn't real money. They're literally going to be upset. Like, I want the old money. Well, that's not the money anymore. No, this is fake. No, it's not. That is the thing. Getting to society to say, hey, this is all changed. This is the real money. This does no longer exist. A lot of that, I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of us that are just going to be like, we're in 5D, we're going to be like, oh my gosh. It's going to be a long process on some of that. You think the Karens are bad now? You just wait. Wait till they're on the bank lines and going nuts. And that is the thing that people need to understand. They're going to have some patience with this new process. This is not going to be easy on anybody.
Yeah, it's well, there's people out there that are telling people that they should get on the QFS ledger, take their money out, buy XRP, and they'll be able to.
What I've told people is they got to keep their business, their information silent right now. Don't be giving anybody access. Don't be giving anybody numbers of anything, because we're at a point of complete dismantle, and you have. So what do you think is going to happen? They would love to get their hands on any of that information that you have access to your account when that happens. Don't be telling people nothing. Because like I said, I believe that ghost account is already there in our name. And I've been saying that for months. That's already back behind. You're looking at a 3D view, and then you've got the 5D view. And I've been saying that is right behind there. And once that flips, you don't want to be signing any papers. You don't want to be signing anything that gives it away or has any other bank or anything like that has access to it, because Spirit always showed me it's just the quantum system in you. So now there's another middleman? I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, at this point on any of the finances, I wouldn't trust any human at this point.
What the heck? Oh, somebody has, let me bring this up. Somebody's all freaked out about it. So my husband's 401k kept losing money. So he withdrew it and put it into stocks this year. Oh, I don't think you want it in stocks. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Now, guy talking about Nasara said that we'll lose it. I'm devastated by this news. What can we do now?
Gold and silver. Gold and silver. It's going to hold. Value of gold and silver is going to hold. That's where you put it. Okay. I've been saying that forever. You ask me about any XRP, talk to me about the stupid Bitcoin that every product pusher is trying to push onto us on every platform ever. And I would tell them, no, this is what I've said. You need to be in gold and silver. I've been clear on that. So you're not going to fail if you have those two things. So
I personally, I think this is going to transition easier than people think.
Yes, exactly. They're so used to the 3D in that 3D bank, they don't understand. It's like boom. I mean, and that's what I keep saying, that people are going to be paid as the green light goes at the same time. I want you to imagine one society getting paid and one's not. They're like, what the hell? They're going to be upset. And you know what I'm saying? We're talking a lot of money. So I believe like the regions, and all of those regions are set up that they're going to be all paying at the same time. That comes, and then what that does, the peace comes down, that worry comes down, and then you can go into this transition that we need to go into this phase. And then you're going to expect, though, that money to be changing and not looking like the old money, you know. Because let me tell you, the gap.
So there's going to be a jubilee.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's what they call it.
Right.
When all your debts are removed. Right. So who was it? Can't think of his name right now.
So the bank had to start going by their guidelines. So, you know, it's going to be like a trickle effect. First, one of the bigger banks is going to be the trickle effect that I feel spiritually that you're going to start to see them forgiving. Okay. Once the big ones start, then you start to see smaller ones forgive. You know, it's going to be a trickle effect. Because I'm going to know what bills you got. If you're not paying there's no car payment. There's no loans. There's no credit cards. There's no student loans. Food.
Those were killer.
Lights are going to.
I don't care what anybody says.
And power is going to change. And the only thing everybody's paying is cell phone. You know.
What's supposed to happen with this? Well, what's this? I've heard people talk about that. We're going to get a Q phone. We're going to get a Q computer and have access to.
I don't know if. I haven't. I don't know. I haven't asked them about that. I think we're looking at too much of a lower level. I think once we get to a certain phase, you'll get that. But I think we're going to be holding these phones for a little bit. I don't feel that's going to come at the right time. I think that's the last thing when we exchange over, which I don't know. I mean, I just feel like the Q phone itself, the way they got it set up, might be something that they would love to get your information on. So I'm very leery yet on that.
Okay, that makes sense. You could be
right. Go ahead, take this phone, put all your information on there. So I would say I'm leery until I see that red flag change on that. So I'd be like, no.
What about? Do you know anything about the Zim or the Dinar and Dong? Those are different.
I think the
Zim is actually a bond,
right?
And Dinar and Dong are a currency,
right? So I feel like that's going to be like this. It's going to stay at a steady pace. It's going to, and then it'll eventually go up. But I feel that it's going to hold steady for a while. Once it goes up, once it goes straight up, it'll come down again. Because this is the thing that I feel. To stimulate an economy, to stimulate a new way that you're paying people, you're going to have to give money away to get them to start spending the money, okay? You give people money that they feel like they're on a budget. You know what they're going to do with it? I'm not spending it, okay? But when you give them money to spend, they'll be like, okay, then I don't have to pay it back. Then they'll start. We have to stimulate the economy with new money. You got to get people to feel comfortable about using this new system. They're going to have to give money away to get them to start to circulate the money.
Okay. If the ghost account is already there, then why would it be a problem with little in the account, the ghost account is already attached to our accounts.
Right.
It wouldn't be a problem.
We don't need it. That's why I say we don't need all that, all these professional people behind the account and all that stuff. I'm going to tell you, like I've said, I think a lot of these people that are saying all this stuff about this and then you have to do all this, I think they're full of shit. I've been saying it because I believe this system's already advanced into knowing where your account is, where it needs to go. You know what I'm saying? That ghost account. We don't need another low mindset man in the way between us and the quantum system.
That's basically what it amounts to. Another group. Well, it's another group of people thinking they're going to make some money by doing that. I think
exactly. Yeah. And the Spirit says, don't give them nothing. Don't give them any information. Don't share that information with them. It's just like the medbed thing. They're trying to soak that crap up too, and try to get as close as they can with the military doing those beds. And they're it's not. Nothing else is going to come out except the military establishing those and seeing their criteria of how they're going to establish another guideline that they're going to come out with. These civilians that do not have the background check or access to these, okay? That's the whole thing. They think by saying it, all of a sudden they get access. The military doesn't work that way. And if anybody's had a great military background check, trust me, it takes a while. They come talk to your family. They make sure that you're mentally okay. They talk to your relatives. They talk to see. So, and then when you see these people saying they have access to this, there's just no way. No way. They might be setting in the future as things change into new training programs. I could see that, but not as we start off.
Okay, here's a question. Are there any people that are already getting money for humanitarian projects? Has that started? It has started?
Oh, yes. Wow. Okay. Because I know one, and they are not limelighted. They are not gloating. They are not putting it out there. And she had to sign an NDA. So, yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know people had already gotten some funds for that. Wow. Let's see. And Kevin is saying that you can expect a 12 to 18 month wait for top secret security clearance.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
You mean you have to have you have to have that before you can get any funds?
No, not for the funds. What I'm talking about is these people that say they have access to the med beds, they have access to the banking system and all this stuff. You know the banking system. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to be checked out. Okay. So there's a society out there that says that they're close, they're with the med beds and they're all in a group with the financial. And I'm like, those are two separate energies going two separate directions, two separate trainings. And that's what I'm saying. I've seen how the military does things, and everything is done with check the box, make sure things are done, make sure things are established, make sure things are accomplished. They have an agenda, and they're going to finish that list first before they get anywhere. And then if one red line, as in a red flag, hits, that person's not going to have access. And that's what we were talking about when they have all these people on Facebook. And I don't even know how they can say, I work for the military, I work with the military. They don't tell you nothing. They don't tell you a thing. They're not gonna. to jeopardize all of this.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just crazy. Like, Dr. Solace brings this JP on that I think would be court-martialed if the stuff that he says is happening. He would be court-martialed for talking about it, period, across the board. So I just think he's a deck swabber, maybe an E5. A wannabe.
Wow.
So I've seen that on the different side of things when they are recruiting and they have a dream of what they want to be on these, but they're not saying anything.
Did the people that got funds have some of the currencies like dinar or dong? Do you know anything about that?
I haven't. Let me say this. I haven't had that discussion with her. I just know when the things happened, when it was clearly was traveled on the other side of the continent, and I knew that's when she had her funding and some of these projects. So, and I saw a list of projects that they're going to do, but this is what you're seeing, these humanity projects. Now, this is the thing about it. There's people that look at that as opportunists, right? That they're thinking there's some way I can put in all this paperwork and I'll find a way to swindle all this money. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years.
It's like, good luck with that. It's not going to happen, but these
They're
people
certainly going to try. They've been trying all along. A couple of things got stopped because of it.
Swindling, whatever they want to do, and then they can't even talk about it. You're not even supposed to talk about. This is the problem. You got to get people to shut up. Don't go around telling how much money you have or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling.
It's just not a wise idea, right?
No, it's not. It's not. So I just think it's no.
All right. So do you know anything about this question up there about the current, did the people that did get money, or they got funds, was it from currencies like dinar or dong or anything like that? Do you know who got money?
I think it was. If spiritually, I could say I'm not verified in this 3D, but verify in a. So when we look at percentage they're saying to a certain percentage it was. So not fully 100%, but to a certain percentage.
Oh, okay. We have children in hospitals been able to be healed yet by the med beds, and if so, who gets to go next?
Well, I believe that's on a scale, and in a severe case, and people that are in a severe process, and children, vets, and it depends on how critical your condition is. So I think they're already vetting, I call it vetting that situation and deciding who's going to go in that process. So, and that's the thing, these, I think because we haven't seen these devices, and then it's one of those things, when cell phones were so great, they came out and everybody's like, had to have one, right? So I think these med beds are like, it's going to be like that, where everybody's going to want to go through and want to do everything. But it's going to get to a point that, since I think someone told me it's going to take 3 years for the whole world to go under these devices. Okay, what happens after that? Okay, when you get to a certain point, so everybody's healthy, everybody doesn't have conditions. So I think we're going to go into a process where they teach us to use our body, because I always feel there's a percentage of our brain that we're not using anyway, that we're going to go into actually accessing more of that potential to heal ourselves. So
I like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
is. And I believe it is frequency. Yeah.
So that eventually we will be able to heal ourselves. Maybe the med beds are, maybe to replace limbs or something like that. I don't know if you can. You'd have to be pretty advanced to be able to do that yourself.
Well, it depends on the percentage of our brain at that point where we, when the med beds are they going to allow us full access, the percentage of our conscience? I want you to think about what we're not accessing, what we're not doing with our body's total potential. So when we have access to that, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to be able to heal thyself in that process. I think it was today I was hearing on, and so no one gets to play the hero anymore. You know what I'm saying? Well, this person saved me. This person saved me. You know what I'm saying? It's heal thyself. We get to that process of using our full conscience, which the ones that are aware of that, are more susceptible to stepping in that sooner than the ones that are at a potential of dormant and not even close to seeing that yet. You know what I'm saying? We know that.
Wow. Well, somebody's saying they're having blizzards in California now. Wow.
That's not normal.
And that's not normal, and that's not good either, because once that all melts, it's going to be a big problem. QFA had a dream. People are going to have more and more dreams all the time. They're going to wonder which ones are, they need to, what the meaning of them are. Okay. I had a dream that a group of Ukrainians was taken to a place with med beds and dematerializers, and that we were to go there after.
So I had a dream of Ukraine was taken to a place with med beds and dematerializing, that we were going to go there after. Ever seen these aliens? And I've seen these videos on the side of the road, and the officer gets up close to the vehicle, and then the body of the officer just turns to dust. I want you to understand. That's what I'm talking about. Higher conscience of understanding of sending an energy in a direction. You know what I'm saying? So we are not even started at the understanding of our capability when we have full access to that. So I'm using an alien process. There's a film of this of several times where you've seen where all that's left is ashes to ashes, dust to dust on this process. And when we get to that full capacity, it's like the movie Lucy. You've seen that movie Lucy, right? Where she's using like a high percentage of her brain and she can do amazing things. And that is a hard thing to imagine beyond the human concept of doing things with the mind that way. There's a lot of stuff that we have to come to looking at it and sitting back and going, okay, what are we really capable of doing? Are they going to show us now? Are they going to allow this to happen? Because that's giving away power. You don't want to have it anymore. People will have the power again by allowing that information for you to educate yourself. Especially I was talking about schools. I believe that whole system is coming to an end too. I think the April time is coming to that potential part because they have to start shutting down that programming system. So they could stop it. Because the more every day we're getting to these education programs that are just that self-sabotage education, as I call it. And when that changes, like I said, that those children and how the students will be educated will be coming from a higher conscience again. And then what's happening again, the humans have to step back and they have to allow power to come in that has more of a capability of looking at a child's brain and and knowing it right away, what it needs to do, how it needs to learn. So it's giving up control. So part of our problem is the ego and not wanting to let go. But look how they let the government go. Look how you let your money go. Let other people.
A quick note here: over 1 million acres burned and are still burning in the Texas Panhandle. Is that man-made? I would say more than likely. I can't prove it. Spirit says yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it is, but yeah,
it is. It's a rebellion.
Yeah, if you notice, there's a pattern wherever there's a state that acts up against the
status. Yeah, it's a rebellion.
All of a sudden, they get attacked in some shape or form. Usually involves weather type things or fires,
right?
They create.
Well, the type of fires I would love to see is buildings.
What was that? I mean,
well, the type of fires that the public would love to see is buildings going down that we no longer need no more.
Right. And do weapons. Yes, you brought that up. I saw some pictures. I don't know if they were in Texas or whatever, but I did see some pictures that indicated that might be how they started all this. I mean, let's face it. They're still calling it wildfires in Hawaii. Are you kidding me? Those weren't wildfires. Give me a break. I mean, it was a DEW attack. So, and they do use DEW weapons. So let me say this is somebody is asking, this is kind of a politically related. What is Creator saying to you about the removal of Trump on ballots in Illinois and I believe Maine? I know politicians are nervous in Illinois, panic mode.
Well, I got this explained because I said they're removing judges and attorneys. So when you're seeing this, as they're removing the ballots and doing all this, and they're doing all this legal stuff, I guarantee you behind the doors, judges and attorneys are being removed too. They're showing you the corrupt areas. So,
but we have a whole deal of corruption when you think that the courts themselves are corporations for profit.
Yeah, they are. They get paid. They get paid to look the other way. Look at the Masons.
And they actually, anyone that's an inmate, anyone that they send to jail and they hold there forever or whatever, every day they're getting $6,000 a day minimum. And they frequently get much of what they do from the I can never say that. Sister Coup Trust.
Well, I think
that we have
in all this. That system is done, and they can't do that no more, and they can't make money that way. So it's the same thing with the schools. They get money to have kids in education, and they get so much a day for them. And when they don't like the parents that are homeschooling because they're not going to get their money anymore. So the whole thing is it's everything. Every angle you look at things, it's corruption. There's not anything
everywhere. There was some policy that they had, and I remember. I think I was in Wisconsin at the time, and it was going on in Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, with the schools regarding if your child. They were trying to get them all on the ADD and ADHD medication.
Oh, sure.
And they were getting money for making sure that they got their medication, something like that. There's always some kind of angle that they create to make money for themselves. It has nothing to do with serving humanity.
Saying, get ready to see families going down, families of generations of corruption, that they're going to go down. You know what I'm saying? That you think are just down the street, they're going to go to jail. The white bus is going to come in and load them up too. So the thing is people, they think, well, I think that person's a good person. Why? Why do they deserve to go to jail? I'm like, it's not for you to decide. They're saying get ready for families that you're seeing corruption after corruption after corruption. It's been taught in family to be corrupted, period.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing too, like the families like the Rockefellers and the Rothschild relatives, frequently they change their names so you don't know who they really are or where their bloodline really goes to.
Right. Right. So I mean, the whole thing, that's why I'm saying sit back, don't get involved, and let them do what they need to do, because what you're assuming is a good person is not anymore. It doesn't matter if they go to church. We know that. That doesn't matter. That's off the board already.
That doesn't make you a better person.
Educator, we know that's off the board already. I mean, Satan has turned every potential area and
everything, inverted everything. Right. Somebody's mentioned that according to Real Raw News, Oprah was hung in Gitmo for participating she had knowledge of what was going to happen in Maui, and she said nothing. She did nothing to try to save people.
Oh, I know.
She was going to make like $30 billion or something like that.
Why don't you ask her friend Danny Henderson? If that's her friend, so they're buddies. So I'm just saying. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see what happens with that one.
That should be interesting. Here's another one. Let's see. Another question for you. Can we ask our angels and guides to help us access the part of our brain we are not using?
Yes, you can. They're here. Yes, you can. Do it. Do it.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Yes, exactly. Don't be afraid of it. Nothing's in the way anymore.
Okay, here's a question for you. That I should please ask Jenny if she sees Silver getting set free from manipulation yet.
Yes. Is she talking about the value of it, or she?
Probably. You know how they manipulate the markets. I'm assuming that's what.
That's gonna. Yeah, I've already seen that where they've said that we're not going to go against country. It's going to be one complete fair value across. So yeah.
Here's another one. To your knowledge, or what will people on Social Security or disability still receive with the new system?
Yes, they do. And this is the thing, and I keep hearing with Spirit, they're like the elders and the veterans and the disadvantaged ones need to get paid first. Okay? The elders have been waiting the longest. They've been suffering the longest. Your veterans and your handicapped people. I'm just telling you, across the board on this. So, I mean, I'll get very upset when people are like really whining. And it's like, if you see them getting paid first, do not whine. At least they're getting what they need. Social Security, veterans, and disabled. That needs to happen first. So that's going to be a good thing where you're starting to see that. I believe that you're going to start to see the signs this month, period. An increase.
I hope so. Things keep getting delayed. It seems.
I think everything's going to be by age and not by, the red tape that they create. Again, another corruption area. It's going to be fair across the board. So yeah, I believe the system, and that is the thing. The elders, the disadvantaged, and the veterans.
Look at what they're doing now. I can't believe what's going on with the immigrants and giving them great big sums of money, and here are Americans on the street, homeless. And they're giving money to people that have illegal coming to the country.
Money from, aren't they getting it from the world? Is it the comedy? I can't think of his name right now.
The World Bank, the Monetary Fund, International Monetary Fund.
Those corrupt son of bitches. So So yeah.
So what's going to happen when these people that are given, these cards with all this money on, they have no idea how much it costs to live in America, and how most of Americans were having to work 2 jobs usually to try to.
This is what happens if they steal it. When they run out of it, they rob somebody, or they steal it, or they take it from them. I mean, that's what the Democratic Party is taught. It's just if you don't have it, just take it.
Well, they've already proven doing some of that already,
Right.
And it's not like I'm against people in any way, but if you're going to come in, do it the correct way. And this is just way out of control, and there are going to be serious consequences down the road, I would think, unless we just get separated enough so that the good people go to this earth, and the ones that want to stay, stay here.
I think to get your funding, you're going to have to go back to your home land on
State.
Some of them.
Yes. Now that would provide a real incentive to all these immigrants that came in.
Back down to Mexico to go get your money. They would solve that whole problem. I guarantee you, part of the government would be helping getting them to the border over. I'm just saying.
Well, we have people coming over from West Africa, from the Middle East, from all those different places, and they would all have to go back in order to participate in the Gesara, in order to get the funds that they have coming to them. But it won't happen here because they're not part of this country legally or lawfully, however you want to look at it.
Everything about this is about money. So if your money is in your homeland, you're going to go back and you receive it.
Yep. That'll provide a great incentive without a lot of. They will voluntarily go back.
Everybody going back to their home countries to get the money instead of coming here.
Exactly. Okay. Do you see Julian Assange being released to his family? Oh, that poor man. He should have been released years ago.
I believe he's already released.
I hope so. Good.
Yeah, I believe he's already released. I just believe he's hiding out like JFK.
I totally agree, Lenny. The best way to help Earth and all its good people is to try and keep thoughts and actions in higher vibe, higher consciousness.
Right.
And there's some people that just can't do that. Oh, will 55 be the new retirement age? I don't.
Really? That'd be nice.
I don't think that's even going to be relevant here. Once we transition.
Nice. I would go for that.
I don't know. I don't know that. Do you, Jenny? Do you know that answer to that? 55?
Well, I believe the young ones are going to have to work to get their money. I believe, the mid-age. I believe if you're capable and especially if you want to help society, I don't think it's a full-time thing. I'm sure there's a part-time thing, but yeah, I believe there's this is what I've told people. Now that you have your money and now that you are healed and you have everything you want, you should be wanting to give back to society and do something in your area, neighbor, you know what I'm saying? So if people think they're going to sit back and just, I'm just saying, as in general, the Democratic Party has pushed this of being just sloths, doing nothing, and sitting at home, and it's not going to happen. You're going to have to contribute. You're going to have to step up.
Be bored to death anyway, I would think.
I don't know.
I mean, everybody needs a vacation when it first happens, I'm sure, because people that have been working, well, most people have been working 24/7.
I would like to go on the other side of the office and not come back. That would be good. That's where I think the paradise is, the other side of the ice. Anyway, but no, I as a human, if your world is doing good, you have all your funding, you're medically taken care of, wouldn't you want to contribute in some way? Wouldn't you want to give back to society?
You would think so, yeah.
I mean, the whole ego process is going to die off on that end. Well, some of us. Well, you can ask Elena Denam. She only has access to everybody on the other side. But anyway, just saying, ego is going to come to an end too.
Yeah. It's, I'm supposed to ask you if you know Princess Catherine. Do you know who she is?
No, I don't.
I don't
I
either.
haven't paid attention to that.
Okay, what else we got?
I think she's in the UK. She's one of the original princesses. The homeless crisis is out of control. And what I've heard, they're saying something like to be homeless is basically going to be illegal. So you're going to have to be able. And I'm telling you, I think the higher technology of these new advanced little homes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? To have everything that they have in the communities that they can access to it, I think that's going to be good. You have to understand the homeless community, whether you give them money or not, some of them like living that way. They don't want things in a mental way. They don't want things complicated. They want things simple. They want to stay off the grid of things. So, I mean, they're going to have food. They're going to have access to get food. And then I think Elon Musk is going to be involved in making those housing for the homeless.
Well, they certainly deserve a home. Everybody deserves a home.
Yes,
that's the way I look. If they want one, the reason that they would choose that life was because of what is required in order to maintain a house, utilities, the whole 9 yards. It's
but I have talked to a lot of people, and there's a whole different system in living on the streets, and there are some people. It doesn't matter if they had everything. They're like, I don't want to live in that higher society system. I want to live in just a content. If they had everything, they would still have their own system. I'm telling you, as in their community. That's how they are. And if you talk to them, and this is what you understand with them too, when you don't have anything, you look at things in a different way. You know, you value things differently. You know, you'll see. I've never seen such passionate people on the street that have dogs. They take care of that dog better than anything. And you got people in houses that ignore
That's their companion.
Yes, exactly, because it's a different value of how you look at things. So I don't like how people look at people on the streets, because some of them are very, very smart, very intelligent, and they have figured out the system to get around for the system. But if you give them a house, a place to eat, a car so they can make their life better, they're still going to tell you going to be wrapped up in their community, because they get it in a way of being humble. They get it in a way of what they know is the value, because they've been up and down. So you have a mid-class standard that they're afraid to go down that low. You know, they're afraid to be in that situation because it's a survival mode. So what I'm saying is, looking at them, they need to look at them in a different way. And first of all, society has put them in that way on purpose. On purpose. So,
well, I heard they were going around and collecting homeless people and actually murdering them.
Yeah, they're getting desperate on food.
It's disgusting. Anyway.
They're just here, yeah, because they're unseen society, and no one's looking for them.
Yeah, I think one of the worst things about the homelessness thing.
Let me tell you.
Where do people go to the bathroom? That's the bad part. You know,
Oregon.
And I actually saw a picture. This was disgusting, but it kind of shows the attitude of some of the immigrants that have come in here. Was in a public area, squatting on top of a where you dispose waste, paper, normally. He had himself up there squatting, taking a dump. I kid you not. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, God.
It was like in a mall area or something like that. Unrealistic. I mean, it's disgusting.
Well, not only that too, with I'm sure with these new devices and everything, the mental illness of that process and understanding that survival and that'll change.
Well, will housing, it says, how will the housing market look like there those needed to move out of liberal states? Will houses be more affordable?
I do, but like I said, I think we're going to get out of these mansion places. I really believe the form of the house is changing. We're starting to realize what we need that makes us happy. It's not the big, lavish house. You understand? It's having everything that's disposable, but very futuristic that I see. So I see, and you're already seeing it. People are living in RVs, they're living in smaller houses, but they're content. They're understanding that life is about experience, not about owning big things.
Material. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a lot of people that have a lot of money. They're not going to be interested in buying a big house. They're going to be interested in the experience. They're going to be wanting to experience life. They're going to want to travel. They're going to want to make it convenient so they can do that. They're not worried about, I haven't heard one person that's worried about buying a mansion. They don't care. They want to be content. That was something the rich is displaying.
And family.
Yeah. So
family is becoming more and more important. We lost our family units from the way that from all the different things that we've done. And I think that's.
Well, the thing is, I lived when it was just me and one of my children, and we lived in a house that was huge, and we lived in one area of the house. You know what I'm saying? Just one area, because it's the way it feels. You know what I'm saying? You live where you feel comfortable, where you feel content with. And that's the whole thing with that. These big homes that you see, these prior pedophiles that owned in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
they were insatiable for everything.
Right. You don't need it. You don't need it.
Okay, Kevin has a comment about the governments worldwide have become so corrupt, there's no way they should survive a transition. Show them the door and start from scratch. Yeah, that's what needs to happen.
Right.
All of them got to go.
Yeah, okay. Load them up.
Here's another one. Do you think is the U.S. breaking up as a country?
No.
Into different, okay.
No, it's going to be into bigger regions.
Let me just see if I got any more questions over here. Oh, here's an interesting question for you. Is the USA the new Jerusalem?
I believe that.
That's interesting.
Yes. I'll give you an amen on that. Yes, I do.
All right. Okay. Yeah, 55. Everybody's wondering about the 55 retirement age. They're getting ready to.
Because I'm telling you, a group in my Signal group and all of it, if they find that out, they're all like, where are we going? Where are we going on vacation? We'll all meet up.
I tell you, my biggest interest in the methods was, age regression.
Right.
That would
exactly.
Be nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's going to happen, but yeah. So that's the whole thing. I mean, even with like that, my Signal group and all of them have started to figure out what they need to do for society when they're done. Yeah. And that's why, we're all here. We're supposed to contribute in some way. I can't wait till we go back to someone, when it says normal society, after everybody's paid, and they're like, so what are you doing for humanity? And someone goes, nothing. They're going to be like, what? You don't have a project? Well, we'll find a project for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's getting them out of that and saying, listen, you have no reason why you can't contribute in some way. You know, that's the whole thing.
Maybe some people just need an idea of what they can do. Maybe.
Well, and I understand that, but people can lead you to that. But like what you're going to be entertained by TV and sports, it's all going to be gone. That was all to occupy the conscience and to program you. So a lot is changing. A lot is changing.
Somebody has asked, yeah, it is. What will social media look like? Since they suppress information, small businesses use social media to build business.
Because we're going, that's, I think, is changing too. So society into product pushing everything. Okay, well, look at the products we're not going to need. Because everything will be taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So a lot it's hard. I think it's a little hard for people to imagine that because they haven't had that. So there's no experience.
Hair care, you know, all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. Hairdressers might be around for a long time because I think that just goes with the times and they just want to look different. And I think it's a therapy time that they do. Stuff like that. But I'm telling you that, okay, let's talk about a market that's big. What is your biggest market in Driven? I know you know it. I know you. Come on. Just think of a man. Where's their head 90% of the time? I'm just telling you. On your, let's say your 3D men. Not the high conscience ones. It's sex.
I'm feeding.
Sex. Okay. Let's get them. That's fed. That program's fed. That program's fetishes, you know. And do you think, why don't you just look at that in a logical way of how's that going to change? How would that change? Because if you have any anybody that's has any sexual issues, and I'm talking about pedophilia, they're gone. Okay, so we don't have those issues. Okay,
thank God.
Okay. So, but you know, and women and men, they don't feel fulfilled in the relationship. So that to me is another process that we've talked about. Women my age, they've gotten to a point that they're not interested in a full-time relationship. They're interested in maybe going to dinner once a month, and that's it. They're interested in balance. They're interested across the board. Do you understand? How can you imagine that that's going to change? It is going to change because how we are being developed spiritually changes. Because that is not, I don't care what anybody of the UFO community says, all the sexual stuff with the aliens is important. It's not, okay? It's not. When I've ever channeled spirits or anything like that, that is never a priority, okay? And that's hard because that's what people are driven by. That's something that's going to go south. And it's like men are like, what? But it is because it's a physical need. It is a physical need. But again, what is that controlled by? Society. What is, they have strongly suggested you need this, strongly suggested we have to connect with this. And you see the massive confusion that we are on relationships. Let's use, and I think it's on both sides. Because I've heard men complain about it and I've heard women complain about it. On both sides, men are like, it's a flat tire. Everybody's wore out. They don't want to get in a relationship. They don't want to deal with damage. It's on both ends of things, okay? So everybody's tired. They're wore out. They don't want to do this no more. That's why you see a lot of people, they're just single. But I'm getting to the point that I'm not sure. And the way I look at things, because we've been programmed since we were young, and I thought we all got tricked into this, males and females, that we are obligated to be with one human the rest of our lives. Right? This is what I think is a program.
Yep, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
Has been
but
pushed.
On a spiritual avenue of things, we go through growth and change. We grow through a process with a being, and then guess what happens? We outgrow that situation and we change. Are you there? She's gone.
Sorry, I'm getting a cough again.
Again. Huh.
That is nasty. Anyway.
So it's something to think about. And that's a subject that's touchy for people, and they feel it's a need, but it's been a need that we've been taught that it's a need. And it's a touchy subject for both sides. So how is that going to change? Feels like we're like, how do you evolve past that? How do you evolve the fact that you don't need that no more? Because your soul's going to connect in a different way. It's not of the physical. Okay, Princess Will's wife is missing. Did you ask Jenny if she knows where? I don't know if she knew everything that was going on. You know what I'm saying? And maybe things were revealed to her that was going on in that place. As come to light. Are you there?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay. I had myself muted.
So I think something happened where she has figured out, because everybody's disappeared, and maybe she's put things together. And I believe that could, it could make us sick and nauseous and not want to be involved in anything.
Yeah, really. Definitely.
And to think that you are like literally living in the pit of it all. And how do you escape that? So I want you to think how...
And look what they did to Princess Di, too.
That's what I was just saying. That's what I was just thinking. So, and then you have to accept this, and you have to accept how things happen. That would put you down a while. How do you come out of that? How do you act different in front of the public? It's a hard thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in those shoes at this time, nor would I want to experience what they had to. I don't know about her, but I know Princess Diana.
Right.
What she thought and went through. People probably don't even know.
Right.
The half of it. But people are going to be finding out some pretty horrific things along the way that has been being done by these people to our children. So that is changing definitely.
Right. So,
alrighty then. Well, go ahead.
So anyway, it's hard to people. Like I was talking to Spirit about the subject of, because everybody asks, that I believe that our vessels, what we need, what we had physically, is going to go to a spiritual connection, energy. That's the kind of connection we have now. It's not all this physical side of things. We're turning into different vessels, and we need energy in a different way. So I'm curious to how that's going to give us abundance, and how that's going to keep us connected of the heart. So I think that's going to change. So that's all I got, unless you got something new. I can't hear you.
Oh yeah. We're also, I'm sorry, I moved myself in case I have to cough. I don't like to cough in people's ears. But anyway, we are at an hour and a half time, and it's a good time to call it a wrap, if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, if people need to contact me for classes, remote viewing, mediumship readings, anything they're missing items, all the other stuff that's on the website that I have, just look at that stuff, and then and I'm getting.
And I have your website is in the description too.
Right. So, and that's the thing, is just people are asking. I'm getting readings for a lot of people that they said they would normally never do a reading, and now people are just coming out of the woodwork with asking very.
We still got people asking some questions. Do you want to take a couple more?
Sure.
Well, somebody's asking about, have you heard of Cliff High, and what do you think of his data analysis?
Oh, I know you're laughing when you see that one. What do I think of Cliff High? I think he's high. Anyway.
You think he's high? Is that what you said?
I do. On some of his information, especially when I really bucked when he started attacking the angels. And that was like really telling me a lot about his stuff. And so I don't agree, I'd say, with 50% of what he has to say.
Oh, I like the figure you picked, because I don't really listen to him very much, because some of his stuff is good and okay, but
yeah,
there's a good percentage of it that I just can't agree with.
So I mean,
he's all mental.
Yeah. Well, he got on my shit list on the angels when he started throwing the angels under the bus.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
That would do it for me. Okay. Somebody's wondering what'll happen to the animals in the zoo. They'll certainly.
That is important to me, because being confined for entertainment, again, they need their own area, and it's wrong, and the zoos need to be dismantled. Wild animal parks, when they have extra room and they have everything that they can do, is great. I think it needs to go to a wild animal park process and have just, continents of animals that have able to have that type of freedom. It's just wrong.
Yep.
To contain and control. I really hate, this is what I don't like, these rich people. They fill up an area to go hunting, and they bring all these other special deer over. So, and I'm like, you're not really doing the sport. You're getting catered to the sport to put it in a certain area that these bigger bucks or deers are not even going to be in there. I am so sick of catering to the rich. I'm over it. These guys could not shoot. I don't care if it's 2 miles down the road. They get in a Jeep. Everything gets catered to them. I mean, let them really hunt.
And we won't even talk about the human hunting parties. That's a whole nother area.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that is another thing, too. If the shoe was on the other foot, trust me, they would be running.
Yeah, the hunters have become the hunted. And rightly so.
Hang 'em high.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jenny, for your time.
No, it's fine, and
we'll be back again.
Yeah, I think everybody's at a certain point. I think they're dealing with a lot of healing. When I'm getting a lot of clients for healings, because everybody wants to deal with the past. They don't want to go in the future hanging on to anything anymore. I noticed that. They're stepping up into classes, and they're saying, hey, I need to know about this. I need to step into my ability. People they're leaving the churches like an epidemic, and they're coming into their own capabilities and their own understanding and their own vibration, and they're not afraid anymore. And that's, I think, the greatest thing ever.
That's big right there. Not afraid anymore.
They're not afraid. They're not
Depending on your defined self.
Yes. I think that's the greatest thing, that you're seeing.
Remember who you are.
Right. And I can say about the younger generation is they're coming into their own, about their own spirituality. They're developing it. I'm seeing more and more and more. This is a generation that's really walking into the spirituality, that they're I see them at younger ages at these event places. It's huge. So I'm like, yay. There's only a few of us at our age, and then we developed in it. Now you're seeing an epidemic of a lot more of them walking into the spiritual path. And that's what we need.
That's awesome. Yes. Remember, go direct, people. Go direct to source.
Right. Direct.
And talk.
No Anki. No Anki. None of the fake, false God stuff. None of them are going to come save you. We are going up to Creator, and that's it. Nothing else is in the way. Anybody else tells you something, you're full of it. So stay in that light, stay in that vibration, and connect with Him only.
And you'll have a wonderful future to look forward to.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you, Jenny, and thank you everyone for listening. And don't forget about the masterpiece. It's very important to clear out it's a solution to the pollution in your body.
Right, yes.
And it's something to really look into. Not that much. It's only like $50. So that's a lot for what it does. And the studies keep coming out more and more. So anyway, that being said, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Stay in the light. Have a good night.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day. We'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers. Stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up. Stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, fighting our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on